National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to the National News broadcast. I'm Niket Karnaratne, together with Natalia Veervardhana. Parliamentarian Champika Ranawaka becomes independent. The Prime Minister requests a staff-level delegation of the IMF to visit Sri Lanka. The Litro company says gas distribution will recommence by tomorrow. A petition by Johnston Fernando to the appeals court. Steps to send a further batch of 5,800 Sri Lankans for employment in Korea. Today is the second T20 match between Sri Lanka and Australia. On to those and other stories in detail. Samagi Janabalawegaya, Colombo District Parliamentarian Patali Champika Ranawaka says that he will function as an independent member in Parliament.
He has disclosed this fact delivering a special statement in Parliament today. Samagi Janabalawegaya parliamentarian Patali Champika Ranawaka said that he, who has acted up to now as a Colombo district parliamentarian of the SJB, will function as an independent member of the opposition from today. He added that his decision has been conveyed to the leader of the SJB and opposition leader Sajith Premadasa as well. Patali Champika Ranawaka further said that they have joined the SJB on the 18th of March 2020 according to an agreement of understanding with the intention of joining a political alliance. He added that being independent means complying with the conditions of the agreement. The parliamentarian further said that the decision has not been taken based on personal enmity with any individual. He further said that he is always acting according to a policy and according to his conscience. Champika Ranawaka added that some social media have stated that he was trying to become independent in order to receive government ministerial portfolio. He said that, however, there is no truth in such statements. The parliamentarian has also pointed out that the present government should by all means be an all-party and interim government. However, the present government does not reflect such characteristics. The general public treat with great disgust the parliamentary proceedings. Therefore, a change is compulsory. But he added that the people must also change their attitudes. The best alternative for today is to create unity. Mr. Ranawaka also said that he and his group will extend their maximum commitments to fulfill this objective. He has further stated that he would never cause any injustice to the mandate given to him by the people.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has requested the International Monetary Fund to send a staff-level delegation to Sri Lanka at the earliest to finalise the staff-level agreement. A discussion took place between Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, over the phone yesterday. The telephone conversation between the Prime Minister and the IMF chief was held to discuss about the current economic situation in the country. The Prime Minister had explained that negotiations on bridging finance were reliant on Sri Lanka and the IMF concluding a staff-level agreement. The IMF chief has expressed her willingness to support Sri Lanka in these difficult times during the conversation.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and Minister Kanchana Wijesekara request trade unions in the power and energy sector not to engage in any form of trade union action based on sabotage, as all people live at present in an extremely challenging environment. The trade unions have informed of engaging in trade union action with effect from midnight tonight.
Minister Kanchana Wijesekara has also stated in Parliament today that amendments in the Electricity Board will definitely be carried out tomorrow on behalf of the people of the country, despite whatever charges are being made by the trade unions and the opposition.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that an amendment to the Electricity Act will be brought tomorrow. He further said that they have presented opinion on numerous occasions on the deprivation of general public to gain access to renewable sources of energy at a lower cost. The opposition leader added that according to the information received, some officials in the electricity sector are planning to engage in serious trade union action with effect from midnight tonight. The opposition leader further said that it is a great national crime to betray the country's renewable power sector to individual proposals.
මැදියම් රැයේ සිට යම්කිසි බරපතල වෘත්තීය සමිති ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයක් ගන්නට තීන්දුව කරලා තියෙනවා විදුලි බල ශාස්ත්‍රයේ ඒ රාජ්‍ය නිලධාරීන් විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලයේ නිලධාරීන් තනි ඒක පුද්ගල යෝජනාවලට වැඩි මුදලකට අපේ රටේ පුනර්ජනනීය බල ශක්තිය පාවා දෙන්න ඒ වගේ තත්ත්වයක් තුල ඒ සිදුවෙන්නේ මහා ජාතික අපරාධයක් කියන එක මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ කියන්නට ඕන.
මේ පුනර්ජනීය බල ශක්තිය
Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara said that the groups which have obstructed the speedy implementation of the projects on renewable energy have given information to him. He further said that any form of competition will not be created through the revision of the Act. The minister said that after the amendments, the Electricity Board will continue to have the power to decide upon charges. The revisions only intend to eliminate legal impediments in the implementation of projects on renewable sources of power. He added that all employees are not against the revision, only several engineers of the CEB are against it. These engineers are those who are appearing on behalf of diesel generators, and they have obstructed the implementation of renewable energy projects in the past. Minister Vijayasekara further said the CEB has requested him last week to increase the electricity bill by 300%. The board has pointed out that the cost of power generation is 756 billion rupees. However, the board is receiving only 250 billion. Therefore, there is a shortfall of 500 billion rupees. He further said that the biggest amount of money is being used to purchase fuel for diesel generators. The minister added that the salaries of the officials in the power sector are being increased by 25% once every 3 years. He has questioned whether salary increases will have to be paid by adding more burdens on the consumers. The minister has pointed out that the cost of renewable power generation is 16 rupees and 80 cents per unit. The cost of power generation via solar power is 22 rupees and 50 cents. Hydropower electricity generation per unit cost is 4 rupees and 37 cents. The minister added that he has tabled in Parliament yesterday facts relating to the group who had deliberately created power breakdowns on the 29th of November and the 3rd of December. He has appealed the agitators not to give a political outlook to the issue. The mafia in the CEB has threatened a blackout in the country, but the minister has stated that if they do not take the correct decisions in the interest of the general public, their houses would be set on fire.
ගරු විපක්ෂ නායකතුමනි මේ තත්ත්වය අපි වෙනස් කළ යුතුයි ඊයේ උපදේශකාර සභාවට ඇවිල්ලා කතා කරපු උදේ ගම්මන්පිල ඇමතුමා කියනවා දැන් මේක ගෙහෙන්න එපා කියලා. හැබැයි එතුමාගේ ගෙදර නිවස 16කට මාස 6ක් ගියා මේ විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලයෙන්ම කනෙක්ෂන් එක ගන්න. මම විශ්වාස කරනවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අපි ඉන්දියාවත් එක්ක ග්‍රිඩ් එක අපි කනෙක්ට් කළ යුතුයි කියන එක. නමුත් මේ විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලයේ මාෆියා ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන නිලධාරී දෙන්න තුන් දෙනෙක් එකට එකතු වෙලා මේක මුළු රටක් හේතු කරන්න දෙන්න එපා. අද ඔවුන් කියලා තියෙනවා රට බ්ලැක් අවුට් කරනවා කියලා. මොන වගේ ත්‍රස්තවාදී කණ්ඩායම්ද කියන්නේ රටේ මිනිස්සුන්ට තියෙන මූලික අයිතිය විදුලි බලය පිළිබඳව තියෙන අයිතිය ලියුම් වෙලා තියෙන පවර් ප්ලාන්ට්ස් වලින් අයින් වෙනවා මුළු රටක්ම බ්ලැක් අවුට් කරනවා කියලා මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඉන්න ඔබ තමුන්නාසලා අපි බැනුම් අහනවා ජනතාවගෙන් අවශ්‍ය තීන්දුව ගන්නේ නැහැ කියලා මේ අවශ්‍ය තීන්දුව ගත්තේ නැත්නම් අපේ ගෙවල් නැවත වතාවක් ගිනි තබන තත්ත්වයට ජනතාවපත් වෙනවා මං හිතන්නේ අලුතෙන්
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that new thinking is needed to come out of the crisis. Today, Sri Lanka is without fuel and coal. No country is giving money to purchase these items. Only India is helping us. The money being used for fuel is fast depleting. Therefore, we have to talk with India again to prevent blackouts. The Premier further said that India is always telling him, you help yourself and then we will help you. The Prime Minister has appealed the unions to not to engage in protests and not to keep the country in darkness. The Prime Minister further said that some people are against India assisting Sri Lanka to ward off the crisis.
ප්‍රශ්න විසඳන්න පාරේ යන්න බ්ලැක්අවුට් දැල්ලන්න ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ බ්ලැක්අවුට් කරන්න එපා බ්ලැක්අවුට් කරොත් මීට පස්සේ අපිට වග කියන්න බෑ ඉන්දියාව දෙයි කියලා ඉන්දියාවට
The Litro Gas Company says it would be possible to recommence distribution of domestic gas cylinders by evening tomorrow. It adds that unloading of gas from a ship that is anchored in the harbour is scheduled to commence tonight. There has not been any electro gas distribution in the country today. However, long queues have been observed in many parts of the country to purchase gas. Long queues of fuel have also been witnessed. The Ceylon Transport Board depots are engaged in the distribution of fuel for vehicles used in essential services.
Colombo Fort Magistrate Thilina Gamage has issued warrants today to arrest former Minister Johnston Fernando and produced before the courts in connection with charges on attacks in Kollupitiya and Galface recently. Additional Solicitor General Ayesha Jinasena, presenting facts before the judiciary when the complaint was convened for examination, said the suspect is absconding the law by changing his place of residence and therefore requested to issue a warrant for his arrest. The magistrate, upon consideration of the request, has issued an order for the arrest and also instructed to release on bail 13 other suspects placed under detention. Parliamentarian Johnston Fernando has submitted a writ petition to the appeals court requesting to issue an order preventing his arrest. The petitioner has stated that he has been named as a suspect in the Kollupitiya and Galface attacks on the 9th of last month by the Department of Criminal Investigation under the instructions of the Attorney General. He has also stated in the petition that facts have been presented to the Fort Magistrate Court in this connection. Fernando has cited as respondents a group including the IGP and the director of the CID.
The United Kingdom has donated a stock of anti-rabies vaccines to Sri Lanka. The value of the contributions is $28,000. Save a Baby organization has handed over the stock of vaccines to Director General of Health Services, Specialist Physician Dr. Azela Gunawardana. The UK-based Sri Lanka Medical and Dental Association organisation, the Seruila Mangala Raja Mahaviharaya and the Sri Lanka Pre-Birth Specialist Physicians Association hold membership of the Save a Baby organisation. The organisation has presented 5,000 vaccines to the country.
Minister Manushanana Kara says a further batch of 5,800 Sri Lankans will be dispatched for employment in Korea. The group is scheduled to be sent within the next 6 months. The first group, comprising of 119 persons, has left for Korea last night. Minister Manushanana Kara was at the airport to extend best wishes to the group. Presently, around 23,000 Sri Lankans are engaged in employment in Korea. The minister has pointed out that a speedy solution to the existing crisis could be obtained if these expatriate Sri Lankans forward their remittances to Sri Lanka via the banks in the appropriate manner.
Minister of Ports, Shipping and Aviation Services Nimal Siripala Silva says restructuring of the Sri Lankan Airlines will have to be concluded within this year. The reason being the people in the country could no longer schedule the burden of or shoulder the burden of 315 billion rupees loan. The minister had made these observations at a meeting of employee representatives of the Independent Employees Association office at the Sri Lankan Airlines. He added that, however, the procedure will not allow forceful expulsion of any employee. The minister further said that the Sri Lankan Airline Administrative Authority has been informed to submit proposals enabling the employees to engage in voluntary retirement, receiving an honourable compensation benefit. It has also been pointed out that the Sri Lankan Airlines at present does not have a single aircraft owned by the company. All the 21 aircrafts in operation are being deployed on hire purchase scheme. The minister has also stated that in the process of reforming the institute, attention has also to be focused on the credibility of the Sri Lankan Airlines, the permission and facilities granted by numerous countries to land the aircraft. And we are back with foreign news. More than 1,000 Ukrainian soldiers captured in Mariupol have reportedly been transferred to Russia. The soldiers were previously held in locations controlled by Russian-backed forces in eastern Ukraine.
The fighters spent weeks holed up in the city's Azovstal steelworks. In May, the survivors were taken prisoner. The bodies of 160 Ukrainian fighters killed in the southeastern port of Mariupol arrived in Kiev. Reports have indicated that this was a part of a swap with Russia, with each side receiving 160 bodies. Russia has reportedly claimed control over almost all of Luhansk province in eastern Ukraine. Reports have indicated that Ukraine is struggling to hold its ground in fierce fighting in the eastern front line of Severodonetsk. Russia's invasion into Ukraine is now on its 105th day. Meanwhile, the World Bank has approved $1.49 billion of additional financing for Ukraine to help pay wages for government and social workers, expanding the bank's total pledged support to over $4 billion. The World Bank said in a statement that the latest funding is supported by financing guarantees from Britain, the Netherlands, Lithuania and Latvia. The project is also being supported by parallel financing from Italy and contributions from a new multi-donor trust fund. Previously, the group of 7 economic powers agreed to provide nearly $20 billion to support Ukraine's economy in the face of Russian invasion.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. You'll be able to watch the live telecast of the Australian tour of Sri Lanka right after the news. Join us tomorrow, same time. Take care. Good night.
Good night.